All right. I could not wait for this, man. I am so happy that I reconnected with my boy here. We met one another up in Montreal years ago. Bill was playing for the Surge. I think he had been playing maybe after he played for the Rams, but he had a really great career at Georgia. And he went down the same path as The Rock. We've had The Rock on here. And The Rock told you too, because Rock tried to play in Canada. And then his dad helped him out and all this and that. And I got hired by Ole Anderson, WCW. And I went to this thing called like the Power Shack. Big Van Vader was there. All these guys. Then they sent me over to Europe, and I wrestled for Otto Watts, CWA. I had a Road Warrior Hawk out there. I'll tell you this, Bill, I don't know how he does it. So we're going to bring him up here in a second, but I'll tell you this. I wrestled in Vienna and in Europe for a year. I don't know what you folks think of wrestling, but it finished me off. It is. I can hear my wife laugh. It finished me off. It was the hardest thing I ever did in my life, and that includes two-a-days. So with all that being said, hey, man, I got a ton of questions for him here. He's going to get back in the ring here. People are bitching already at Bill. I mean, they always have. Let's bring him up here. Our friend Goldberg, he joins us now. Big Bill. How you doing, brother?
What's up, man?
Hey, so great to see you again, man. How's the health?
Well, I can't tell you the truth, but I'm good, man. I'm good for a 58-year-old man. I'm not doing too bad. I'd put myself up against any other 58-year-old. That's for sure.
Still looking for it, huh?
I'm skinny, man. Yeah, I've lost a lot of weight. I mean, it's just tough. It's tough to train like you used to, and it's tough to, it's like going back to the NFL at 58 years old and trying to be, that big badass defensive lineman again. It's just, it's tough. So I'm not gonna bitch. I'm not gonna moan. I'm not gonna complain. I'm not gonna give excuses. I'm just gonna fucking do it. I mean, that's all you gotta do.
Well, Bill, let me ask you this. So I tell people this all the time. Somebody like yourself and somebody like a Michael Jordan, dude, your love for the game doesn't ever fade. It's the body that fades. You know what I mean? I mean, all that right now. So is it still your heart bringing you back for you to get back in the ring again the way you are now?
Well, there's a lot of reasons why I'm doing it. I mean, if push came to shove, I wouldn't have planned it at 58 years old. But, that's just the way things go. Unfortunately, my last match with the WWE, contractually, it was against Roman Reigns. It was in Saudi Arabia. There were a number of things that were wrong with that scenario. First and foremost, me coming off of COVID 3 weeks before. I hadn't trained for 3 months. I had COVID. And so to make an extremely long story short, it just wasn't the right way for me to go out. That's all. And so I talked to Vince and we agreed that I'd do another match. And then, a couple months later, Vince gets fired and the match goes up in flames. So, that was right after I wrestled Roman. I don't know, it was 4 or 5 years ago, something like that. And then out of the blue, I get a phone call asking if I'm still interested in the retirement match. And, I had to think about it for a second, but, instantly your answer is yes, so that you can go out on your own terms and rectify, what people saw before. But then you have to look at reality. I got to look at the fact that, I hurt my shoulder playing football, right? And I've done nothing but compound injury after injury on that shoulder since. And it's tough. It's tough to beat Gage Goldberg's dad for the last 5 to 6 years since we moved here to San Antonio. That was my identity. Obviously, people know me as Goldberg, but I slid right into dad mode, and I stopped training, and I stopped really caring about myself, and I went 100% full steam into being dad and doing whatever I had to do to give my son an opportunity to follow his dreams. And he's a kid that I didn't let play football until he was in ninth grade. I didn't let him work out until he was in ninth grade, just like me. And he was a baseball player. The kid is freaking unbelievable. Two guys stole. He was a catcher. Two kids stole on him his senior year. That was it. Two kids. He was all state. He was freaking awesome. I let him play that, since he was 5 years old, and then, he comes up to me. I'm in my garage/gym right now, and I remember we're walking up those stairs, and he grabs me and he goes, "Dad." And I said, "What?" And he goes, "I want to hit people." And I was like, okay, now my dream has been fulfilled. I have a son that likes pain, or at least inflicting it. So, he never went to camps. He went, last minute, right before the season started, we went to Alabama camp and we stopped into UTSA. Because as a baseball player, as you know, summer league goes all the way to August.
Absolutely.
And that's when football starts.
Right.
So he never had the opportunity to put himself in that slot as, hey, I want to play football. So he was behind the eight ball. Fast forward, he had a good senior season, and nobody even played football here in town that was coaching him, really. So it was tough. He didn't. Remember Chuck Smith? Played with Chuck at
Atlanta.
I took Gage down to Chuck, I think for like 2 or 3 days, just to get a little training in before the season. And when he came back, he had to teach the linebackers what he learned in Atlanta with Chuck, because the coaches really didn't have the background for it.
Skill of coaching.
Yeah, it is what it is, So he was behind the eight ball. He made a decision to go to we got a preferred walk-on offer to go to Alabama. Obviously, we thought about Georgia. They never got back to us. Well, they didn't get back to us in time. He put a deadline on a day, and he wanted to decide that day. He went off to school thinking he was going to Alabama. And then 2 hours later, Saban retires. So that completely screwed that choice. And so I pick up the phone and I called Dion. And I said, "What's up, man? What's going on?" He knew what was going on. And
wow.
I said, "Gage wants to go to Colorado." He goes, "Give me 5 minutes. I'll have our linebacker coach call you." And he called, asked when he could get up there, offered him a preferred walk-on. I couldn't give an answer for Gage because I'm his dad. I'm not him.
Right.
And so I said, "Hold on a minute. Let me get a hold of him. We'll see what we can do to maybe get there in the next couple of days." And then I hung up the phone and I'm like, Jesus Christ, did I just insult him? So I picked up the phone and I called him. I said, "You know what? He'll take it. He's in. We'll be there as soon as we can." So push came to shove. That was his decision. Went there. He's had a wonderful year learning. That's the best part. When I went and saw Dion for the first practice, for the first time in a long time, he grabbed me and he's like, "We got 171 years of NFL experience on the coaching staff, but not one of them is a bad father." And Dion, man. You know him really. You know him well. So you know why I let Gage go there. You know why I wanted to get Gage to go there. So
yeah, you wanted the teaching, and also you wanted to know that guy could carve out a path for him to reach his dreams. Because Bill, you and I know one of the toughest things that we have to do is find that road. We know due north, Bill, but we know there's swamp in the middle of due north. But when you have an opportunity to go to a guy like Dion, he can kind of maneuver through all that swamp to give the kid the best chance. So this is what you've been doing the whole time. And then on the other time, by the way, I'll show up at Monday Night Raw. I'll do that. And then I'll go and we're going to go.
It's been a weird existence. It is. I mean, I'm on my tractor and then I get on a plane and go on national television in front of millions of people. I'm like 10 different people. You know me. Well, I
Yes,
mean,
sir.
you don't know me now. Moving out of California, we moved to a couple hundred-acre ranch here in Texas, and my wife is a neonatal care, takes care of exotic animals, babies. We got a giraffe and we got a kangaroos at the barn right now, and uh,
Who is this guy? What is
exactly,
that?
yeah.
Hey, Bill,
Um,
it sounds though like you're enjoying life.
Well, that 1,000%. There's no reason to breathe unless you're enjoying it. This is what I'm sitting in a 15,000 square foot garage. That houses all my cars I've collected throughout the years, and then I got a weight room upstairs. So, you try to build your kingdom, so that you don't have to leave its surroundings. I've got everything I need here. I got a shooting range a quarter mile away. I got a 2 3 acre pond down there with 10 pound bass in it, and we got the barn, and I got the garage, and I got a skid pad, and I
Well,
got all
shit,
kind of
I
shit,
want an
man.
invite to this thing. This thing sounds like it's a day camp. This thing sounds like day camp here, man. I love it. Bill,
At the end of the day, you try to build your kingdom to where you don't want to leave it and don't have to leave it. We got chickens now, so I got, a plethora of eggs every day. So
well, then, Bill, why get back in? Why get
because
back in then?
because of what I just told you. Because I ain't freaking going out the way I went out. Period. End of story. So at 58 years old, if I have to go in there hobbled, if I have to go in there 30 pounds lighter, I don't give a shit, because I have a point to make. And at 58 years old, can I still make that point? I don't know, but I'm going to do my best. And my best is 99. My best, 50% of me is better than 99% of the pricks on the planet, I believe.
It
And
is.
so if I still give that effort and have the work ethic, though I'm not who I used to be, but here I am, I mean, we don't lose that.
No.
And so it's a risk. It's a huge risk. Am I risking the legacy of Goldberg in the ring? Yeah, I mean, always. Every time you step in there, you risk that. But it's risk versus reward, and it's another opportunity to give Gage a platform to see his dad go out and do his thing. I mean, he's the reason why I came out of retirement in the
Huh.
beginning. 15 years ago or whatever it was for the first time, and so I mean, I'm not doing it for me. I mean, I am partly, but I'm mainly doing it for him. Um,
And,
you
and
know,
and Bill, to me, you know what? Every athlete doesn't want to go out on a knee. You know what I mean? And I hear that. I mean, you don't want it. So this is not going to be some sort of 2, 3, 4 match, 5 match thing. This is, you're going to play it by ear after this, and what happens after that. I mean, this is something right here for you where you just don't want to. If I'm walking out of something, I'm walking out my way.
yeah, 100%, 100%. And if if they have to drag me out of there or carry me out of there, then that's fine, because I chose to do it, and I chose to spend the last 6 months, uh, uh, training and preparing for this. I chose to go to Colombia to a company called Bio Accelerator that changed my life with the stem cell treatment.
Huh.
Um, I mean, that's a whole different conversation, but that started this whole process. When I decided to do the match, I had a period of time that I could train, which I never have had before. It was always, hey, can we have you in 3 weeks? Can we have you next month? When you have you, in a week, whatever it is. I just have never, in your 50s, you don't, stay ready every minute, to get back in your underwear in front of millions of people. Like I said, I'm on a tractor freaking mowing lawns. I'm feeding babies. I'm doing anything and everything that's probably the polar opposite of being that superstar of the ring.
Bill,
Um,
what do you make of this though? So there's some criticism I read of from Billy Ray that all of a sudden now you just all of a sudden here he is fighting for the title. Like, you haven't stood in line, you haven't done this, you haven't done, and I look at that and go, wait a minute here, man.
I was 176-0. I don't have to stand in
I
freaking
don't
line.
think so either.
Yeah, exactly. So Bully Ray can bite me. I could care, but everybody's got an opinion. And Bully Ray has a podcast that's about wrestling, right? And so you're
Yeah.
obviously going to chime in and give your 2 cents. And I love him to death and I respect his opinion, but his opinion is like an asshole and everybody's got one, right? So, I mean, that's fine. Everybody, oh, Goldberg's limping to the ring. Goldberg's small. Goldberg's old. I am freaking old. What do you want me to do? Show up at 20 years, turn the clock back? But show me another 58-year-old dude that's willing to go out and do this. I mean, there's a couple, but I'm gonna hopefully surpass their performance. And at the end of the day, I got to surpass my performance in the
But
past.
Bill, don't you think the wrestlers and the people that cover the sport today don't understand? Because again, when I'm wrestling and there's Hawk in the ring, or there's Animal, or there's Ken Patera, or somebody that I knew when I'm in the ring, dude, those guys get number one priority because those guys were the guys that built the damn sport, not because I've been practicing or I've been here longer than you, or not or more consistent than you over the last couple of years. Don't you guys have a different place in the sport where, like, you and Rock, you and Austin, and those guys could just go, hey, look, man, they want me to get back in the ring and fight for the title. I'm going to do it because I have the fucking equity to do it.
I do believe you're correct, 1,000%. I mean, yeah, that's called not seniority, but it's hey, they put the title on me at WCW after being in the business for less than a year in front of 50,000 people in Atlanta, right? I don't think that I think they knew what they were doing. I mean, it wasn't my decision by any stretch of imagination. Every single time I've been asked to do something, I've done it in this business. I haven't come in and demanded anything. Well, not much, but eh,
You
I'm
think
a,
the business has treated you fairly? Like, Bill, I saw a documentary on you, and I sat there and I said this. I go, I know this guy. I fucking don't believe what they're saying. Hard worker, he was tough to be in the ring with and all this and that. And I'm listening to this and I go, well, you know what? He's a physical guy. I know the guy. He's physical. And if you get in the ring with him, and if you F up and you start being Henry Hero, this guy's going to drop you on your bonnet. It's just not going to work. And people don't get that about you. But Bill, do you think the business and the media side, and maybe even your own crew of people that you've wrestled with, do you think they never really understood you, period? Because maybe it's the football background, maybe because things were given to you as not given to you. You earned early that you ended up getting it fast, that maybe people always had an ass with you and how they looked at you, because I looked at you as a shooting star on this thing. I mean,
well,
it propelled
1,000%.
you quick.
Here's the deal. A lot of people are like, well, and Gunther came out in the beginning and said, hey, 2-minute match. You can't go more than 2 minutes. If my job is to go out and smash someone in 60 seconds, do you think I'm going to politic to be out there longer? Right? Do you think
No.
do you think I'm gonna say, guess what? Make me like every other schmuck in the ring that chain wrestles and that does high spots and that does the I want to be different. And I do believe there was a place for different. And I think that I proved the point. And I mean, the character's one dimensional. He's one dimensional. He went out there. I was Tyson. I smashed people and I left. I didn't talk about it. I didn't revel in my success. I just went out and headbutted doors and ran people over. And along the way, a couple people got hurt. You know how many times I got hurt in the business? Do you think I
Thousands.
blamed it on everybody else? Not a chance. I'm studying my opponent, right? And excuse me, and I've seen random videos of his opponents and of other people, and then a short will pop up and I'll click on it of guys hurting people, right? And I kicked Bret Hart in the head on accident 100 years ago, and I've been
Yep.
remorseful ever since. And I've said I was sorry, and I was young in the business,
Sure.
no question. And
Everybody's stiff in the business when they first start. If
and
you
people
don't
make
know that, right?
and people make mistakes,
Right.
and people have to understand that I was extremely lucky to break in the business when I did, because I had Kurt Hennig, I had Kevin Nash, I had the Steiner brothers, I had Norton, I had Hogan, I had Flair, you know, when he talked to me. I had Bret Hart. There were guys that were unbelievable sources of information and coaches and people that took the time to help me out. Um, I never would take advantage of anybody. I mean, I'm a dude who went up against 350-pound guys every play, playing nose guard, just like you did.
Yep.
Do you think I'm going to cheap shot people?
Absolutely not. And I mean, you're taking on guys like Vader. I mean, let me ask you
Vader
a
used
couple.
to smash guys just for fun.
Oh my, the
And I
power
didn't, I
bomb.
never, I never did that.
How many times that people get out of the ring? You know how many people used to tell me, because he'd come over to the power shack over there where we were training, and people would go when he does the power bomb. You know how many people he injured doing that power bomb that nobody really ever gave him a bunch of shit about that. And I was like, that was one of the most devastating moves. And I just never got, I never got how people looked at you. I always thought it was jealousy. I mean,
It's
is there
it's that.
somebody,
It's a
is there
lot of
somebody
different things.
that I believe it is jealousy. Is there somebody you patterned your game after? Is there somebody in your career when you got going? Hey, first off, before I get there, how'd you get into wrestling after football?
My accountant called me and said, "You know what? You didn't make shit in the NFL, so you might want to figure out a career." That's pretty much how it happened. And the fact is that I've been working on my body and I've been working on my character as a football player for my whole life. And it was an easy transition mentally
Yes.
for the physical part, but it was a whole different ball game. You know that. You
Oh
were talking
God.
about it earlier.
Oh,
Um, it was something that I never thought that I would enjoy, be good at, or master, or be successful. And I worked my ass off. I went down to the power plant and I videoed everything I did. And I studied UWF, I studied pancrase, I studied every martial arts competition that I could. Uh, Competitive sambo, jiu-jitsu, all kind of different stuff, just to try to get a handle on a character, a style, and what people would want to see. And mixed martial arts was the forefront at that time. It was just breaking in, and I thought it was going to be the biggest thing, the next big thing. Right? Well, I was kind of right, and I patterned myself after a Mike Tyson slash MMA guy that just so happened to weigh 290, could do a back handspring, and was in the NFL for a little while, right? So I mean, that's all I did. I mean, Hawk, I loved watching Hawk.
oh.
Uh, uh, Sting helped me exponentially. Dallas Page. There were so many things and so many people that had uh, a hand on my career. Um, but I just took little pieces of people whether it was a look from Hogan, or whether it was Hawk and the sticking his tongue out thing, or whether it was Dan Severn doing this after he
Yeah.
wins an MMA fight. I just combined all of the little tiny intricacies that I enjoyed with what I thought people would like to see.
What was
And
tougher, Bill, for you to build your body up to go through this, or to build the character up and to build? Because again, without the character, Bill, you're nowhere. But without the body and the physical tools and the skill set that you were talking about, you're nobody.
I had the
What
body.
was
You
tougher?
know that. Oh, I had the body
You
in
did.
that we played football and all we did was
Yep.
train, and all we
Yep.
did was get beat up, and all we did
Yep.
was smash heads with each other. And all we did was go through physicality that pushed the body to the limit every day. This was no different. It was no different, except it was completely different. Your
It is
body
different.
your body feels different things. The ropes, the ring,
Oh.
your back takes a beating, your knees take a beating.
Bill,
And
let
this
me
is
tell people this about. So when I got into the ring, I thought these fucking ropes were nothing. I didn't know that they were covered, and they were like cable, like you see out where a power line is. By the end of the week, I had the side of my underneath my arm was so swollen.
yeah.
I had never, but then I started wincing. I'm wincing. I go, I don't fucking wince. And I'm wincing on the ropes. I tell people this, Bill, you tell me, training for football and going through training camp, versus going in a match. Hey, people think those floors, they are not soft. Okay? They are not. Bill, that finished me off. I played 7 years of pro ball. That when I went over there,
You were too beat down when you got there. I mean, I had just come off of stomach surgery. I was pretty beat down. I never thought I'd be able to do anything ever again. I had to get out of football because I had athletic pubalgias, like a hernia thing, and it was horrible. And I never thought I'd be able to pick 500-pound dudes up afterwards, let alone, go out there and succeed in the wrestling ring for a number of years. But it's a mentality thing, dude. It's like what the military does with their bodies, right?
yeah,
You can push the body past the limits that you have physically or mentally set for yourself if you put your mind to it. And I refused to let them see pain in me because I had just come from the NFL and I wanted to show them what we were all about. And I was watching guys fall out. I was watching guys throw up. I was watching guys give up. And
yeah.
I was laughing because I wasn't going to be that guy.
Absolutely. So, what's your
Yeah.
relationship with? And you're going to get in the ring and you're going to fight for the title. Is this title number 6 if you win it?
I don't keep track, man. Honestly, I don't.
I think it's title 6. I mean,
Um,
how do you feel about getting into the ring again and fighting for a championship again?
the dude opened his mouth about me and my family. Period. End of story. That's what started this whole thing. Now I went to
Now you might kill this guy if he's not understanding who you are. I don't think he gets who you are.
Who I am to him is an old man.
Yeah, well,
is a 58-year-old guy who is hobbled and not like he used to be, and he believes that even at my peak that he could have taken me, which is absolutely laughable. But I mean, this guy's he's a formidable opponent. I mean, he's the world heavyweight champion. I mean, I remember meeting him, years ago, right when he broke in. And I mean, the guy had a shooting star up his ass at that point. And I knew he was going to be, destined for big things. And hey, it's an honor for me to get in the ring with him. It's an honor to step into a position to be vying for the world heavyweight championship at 58 years old. I mean, I don't know of any other ones who've retired for with a match like that.
George Foreman, I was friends with George, Big George.
As was I. Yeah.
And I was there ringside when he beat Michael Mora. This sounds so much fucking like this. I'm watching it for 9 rounds. I'm there in Vegas with my wife. We're watching this thing. I'm just going, man, Michael Mora. And all of a sudden, bang, this guy goes down. I'm like, holy shit. And there was George Foreman. He was wearing the same shorts that he wore the night he got beaten Zaire.
And I'm going to do the same thing.
That's you, man.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this. George Foreman sitting at a bar. I wouldn't want to pick a fight with that 58-year-old guy. I don't care.
Now, and now now that's something completely different. That's a street fight, not a wrestling match.
You got that covered, right?
Well, Gunther's got a hell of a lot better chance at a wrestling match than he does a street fight. Because I don't care how old I am.
You ain't losing that one. Hey, Bill, do you like the state? Couple lessons for you, brother. Do you like the state of the wrestling game right now?
I think it's in good hands. I don't know a lot about the fan interaction and how it's changed since I was in there. I mean, I experienced it a little bit Monday night. I was extremely thankful that first and foremost anybody would remember who I was, let alone
How'd
cheer
you feel?
for me.
How'd you feel in there? How'd it feel being back in the light?
It was awesome, man. It was really cool. I mean, the best part about it was to get out of the ring and to be able to high five and hug kids, man. Because that's the best. That's the biggest thing I got out of it when I was, at the top, is what a difference that we can make in a kid's life, and that's the coolest gift you could ever have. And that's an absolute honor to be in that position, and it's a huge responsibility, and it's one that I took on with open arms, and I cherished that. And so, to be perfectly honest with you, that's what I miss about it. more than anything. The
I'd love to.
physicality, and that's I kickbox twice a week. I don't care about the physicality. I could go in there and spar with a 300-pound
Yeah,
dude in 2 seconds. But the ability to look at a kid and see in their eyes how excited they are and how fulfilled they are after you give them what they want, whether it's a picture or an autograph or
yeah,
something. Dude,
yeah,
you know that. It's the coolest
yeah.
thing in the world. And that's a gift that, comes with a lot of responsibility, as I
Bill,
said.
I
And
love the fuck out of you, man. I'm so glad we've reconnected here. And let me give you a couple last ones. I'm exceptionally good friends with Rock. You have a good relationship with him? Are you good? Are you guys, you and him, good boys? Are you guys cool, or is it still competitive, or what? Where are
no,
you with him?
we're cool, man. I haven't spoken to him in years. Um, I love him to death. There's the story of him reaching out and asking if he wanted me to check on my mom down during one of the hurricanes before we had ever even met in person. So for that gesture, I'll always be a Rock fan. And not to mention the fact that he's extremely talented and extremely successful in everything that he's done. And he sets the bar higher for guys like me and the people that would follow in his footsteps,
Yeah,
in
but
the
I think he
future. So
followed in yours. Bill, I know the kid, and I know you're like the first. Well, there were guys. I mean, Orndorff did it too. I know there were former NFL guys, but Bill, you were like the first dude like that was a college star, and all of a sudden, bam, there you are, front and center. You're fighting for the heavyweight championship, WCW, and you're there in Atlanta. And I'm like, holy shit! I saw this guy 18 months ago in Montreal playing in the World Bowl, and there he is fighting for the title. I,
yeah.
sometimes you have to freaking pinch yourself, don't you?
I do, but the reality is that the entire fan base keeps me grounded because they all think I'm a piece of shit and I don't deserve it. Right? So I can think I'm as good as I want at one day, and then all I got to do is read one comment and go, you know what?
Ah, I can't wait to
And
see
stuff
this.
like that shouldn't bother you by any stretch, because I don't give a flying flip what anybody says. Come step in my shoes. Come live in my life. Go, like I said, Goldberg's old. Goldberg's limping to the ring. Yeah, I got a bad knee, motherfucker. What do you want me to do? Levitate? You know, I don't care. I'll walk to the ring with a limp, with a knee brace, with one fucking arm. I don't care. I'm going to headbutt the shit out of somebody and I'm going to spear him. And, hopefully I'm able to do some good stuff before all of that happens. But, you know, you got to kill me to freaking keep me
Yeah.
down. You do.
Yeah.
And
Last question.
you're the same way, dude. You are. We all have it mentally to be that guy. I don't care whether you're 10 or whether you're 200. I'm still that guy. CT Fletcher. I don't know if you know CT. Great friend of mine. He's still that guy mentally.
Yep.
Physically, he can't be that guy. But mentally, yeah, to the day I step in that grave, I'm gonna think that, yeah, yeah, you get it. I
I
don't have to
totally get it,
eloquate it
man.
anymore.
Now, let
But
me ask you this: WCW or WWFE? Would you have the most fun wrestling?
I mean, there's no question. It was WCW. I mean, there's
I love it.
absolutely no question, because it was during the peak of the Monday Night Wars, and the things that we were putting on television and the way that we were going about our business and the way they were going about their business is the true competitive nature. Uh, and Monday Night Football changed their time slot because we were killing them in the
No
ratings.
shit.
So those were the best times for me. Now, I had great times at WWE, uh, but truly the best part of my career was in the beginning. Sting, Hogan, Kevin Nash, the Steiners, you know, Piper, freaking Macho. Everybody was down there, and it
Man,
was a
everyone.
different place. It was different, but I think it was the perfect place for me at the time.
Absolutely, dude. I mean, I'm excited that you're getting back in. I'm excited. I hope we get to do this again, dude. I mean, I'm gonna be up your ass lately, man, because I want to reconnect with you again. I'm really glad what you've done in your life, man. I'm so proud to say that you're my friend. Hey, real quick here, Georgia Bulldogs. Surely you follow your dogs, right? Gonna have
Yeah, a
another
little
great
bit.
year this year.
Not as much as I follow Colorado now, but yes, I still follow the dogs. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Hopefully Kirby's at my match.
Yo, so what? You could tell him, where was the call? You called too late for my kid.
Nah, man, that's all. That's water under the bridge. It is. That was going to be a tough situation. I knew when I got
Yeah,
to the point to be dad, and
yeah,
my son was wanting a scholarship, and he was wanting to do this and that. That, it's a tough thing. But you got to leverage yourself. You got to do whatever you got to do to make sure that your loved ones, especially your son, is in the best situation that he can be in, so that he can prosper. That's it. You know.
absolutely. Bill, good luck to you, man. We'll be in touch again, man. We got to do this again. I'm looking forward to you getting back in the ring here. I want to see this match. Thank you, my friend, for doing this for me, man. I mean, it's absolutely awesome of you to find time for me, and you always do. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, my friend.
You got it, brother, and I'll leave you with the Sacramento Surge helmet.
There it is, right there, baby. There it is. I love the Howie jersey too up top there, man.
Oh, absolutely.
I love that Howie Long jersey. Brother, thank you, dude.
You got it. Be good one.
You got it. Bill Goldberg. That is our friend. Man, I love him. What a great dude. You guys were probably watching my Twitter line and saying, God, Sileo's starting to put people on. I wonder what Big Joe Kraus was thinking. Dan's putting some really good guys like Tony Dungy and who else do we have on down at that Tampa morning show? We had Tony Dungy, and I think we had somebody else. I forget. Oh, we had Mario Cristobal. And I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to shock the world, and I'm going to put the A-lister on. I'm going to put Goldberg's ass on the show. I didn't put him on anywhere else. Put him on right here. Right here for you. How you doing? By the way, I got another surprise coming up. How would you like to have Reigns on? I'm friends with him too. When I heard you guys liked wrestlers, I was like, holy shit. These guys like wrestlers? Okay. You want Roman Reigns on? Let me see here. Well, when I'm sure Xander's going to post that interview because that's going to go nuts. So, and I guarantee you, I know Bill's already told me he's going to retweet it too. So we'll have Roman Reigns on. But again, you got to remember, guys, takes a little time to get some of these dudes on. Okay? Takes a little bit of time. How you